Hey, Natalie!
What's up?
Nostalgia Vortex just gave me my first request ever.
Awesome. What movie?
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's a terrible choice to reference. It's been done like a million times. It's a cult classic.
Oh, yeah, well, he's kind of a cool guy, so kind of have to do it anyway.
Whatever. Your funeral.
Greetings, Earthlings!
It's pretty incredible that I've gone this long without talking about the late, great Ed Wood. I guess I sort of mentioned him in my top 5 favorite Bela Lugosi films episode, but I haven't really covered him as an artist all that much.
Why do I get hooked up with these spook details? Monsters, graves, bodies.
Let me get this out of the way now. I am a huge Edward D. Wood Jr. fan. In my opinion, he's one of the most inspirational filmmakers ever. Ed Wood continued to make films that he wanted to make for years, even though he never achieved any success or notoriety while he was still living. It wasn't until 1980, 2 years after the man died, that he became a cult icon with the release of the book by Michael Medved titled The Golden Turkey Awards.
You know, I had always wondered why they called it that, a golden turkey, and lo and behold, it came from this book. The same book that in 1980 dubbed Edward D. Wood Jr. as the worst filmmaker of all time.
The saucers are up there, and the cemetery's out there. But I'll be locked up in there.
Not only is Plan 9 from Outer Space not the worst movie ever made, it's not even the worst Ed Wood movie. I can excuse this, though. In the 1980s, when this book was written, it was a lot harder to get your hands on obscure movies. I mean, television, video rental stores, and word of mouth would really be the only way that you would learn about different films. So I guess in that regard, I can excuse this book saying that Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space was the worst movie ever made, just because to the general public, it probably was.
Have one of the boys take the guy and the girl back to town. You take charge.
Okay, Inspector. What are you going to do?
Look around a little.
It's pretty dark out there. Once you get beyond the range of those lights, you won't be able to see your hand in front of your face.
I will get one of the flashlights from the patrol car.
Okay, be careful, Clay.
I'm a big boy now, Johnny.
Other than Bride of the Monster and maybe Night of the Ghouls or Jailbait, I kinda like Jailbait, Plan 9 from Outer Space is probably one of Ed's better films. Sure, the effects were cheesy, but looking back on the movie now, and compared to the effects of other 50s sci-fi movies, it's really not that far off from even like a Roger Corman film from around this time. The movie does have its moments of brilliance. Yes, I did say that. It has moments of brilliance. The Tor Johnson zombie rising from the grave is a neat little shot. Vampira is effectively creepy, in my opinion, and it does have a star, Bela Lugosi.
Even though he died like 2 years before making this movie.
Yeah, all of this silent footage of Bela running around in his Dracula cape, it was actually footage that he and Ed shot just after Bela was released from rehab. According to an interview with Bela Lugosi, this movie was to be called The Ghoul Goes West.
Look, I'm not saying that this is a good movie by any means, but what I will say is there's only so much you can do with a small budget funded by a Baptist church and a ragtag team of independent filmmakers.
Stop him, Dennis! I can't get it, it's jammed! Stop him, you fool!
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the story.
Ah, yes. Plan 9 deals with the resurrection of the dead. Long-distance electrode shot into the pineal pituitary glands of recent dead.
The concept of aliens resurrecting the dead to kill off all of Earth's people is actually a pretty interesting storyline. I especially like it in the Japanese zombie film Wild Zero.
One thing I gotta mention that you never really see anyone else mentioning is how bad these alien costumes are. I mean, come on. They're supposed to be the rulers of the galaxy? These are clearly just leftover costumes from the local community theater's production of Camelot. The movie at times is narrated like it's supposed to have had like a documentary or a news-like feel, or sometimes the focus is solely on the point of view of the aliens, which is kind of weird. It follows their plans for taking over the Earth, which takes away the suspense. And then other times we seem to follow the character Jeff Trent, who is an airline pilot who just happened to witness a flying saucer, and now he's our hero of the movie.
I saw a flying saucer.
Saucer? You mean the kind from up there?
Yeah, its counterpart.
The narrative is just really messy, and I gotta say, spending this much time with the space aliens and listening to their plans for world domination before they actually even do it makes them a lot less threatening.
However, none of those risen have been seen, at least not by anyone who still remains alive.
It's too bad it must be handled this way. But it must.
The ending of this movie is pretty typical for 1950s sci-fi. Our heroes sneak aboard the alien spacecraft, where they discover the aliens' real purpose for invasion. Human weapons development will inevitably lead to the discovery of a solar night bomb.
Stupid! Stupid!
A substance that has the effect of exploding sunlight molecules.
Stupid! Stupid!
Such an explosion would set off an uncontrollable chain reaction, destroying the entire universe. The aliens believe that humans are too immature or
Stupid! Stupid!
to possess such a weapon, and intends on destroying mankind before they can destroy themselves.
To be fair, the aliens are probably right. I mean, can you imagine our current administration with a solanite bomb?
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know what that is, right?
We're way too stupid.
Yeah, Plan 9 from Outer Space is a fun little movie. It's super easy to watch, and it's definitely not boring. I don't know if I would go as far to say that it's underrated, but I'd definitely say it's not as bad as everyone says it is. Ed Wood is an amazing artist because he really believed in what he was making. He was sincere. That makes a big difference. And he didn't listen to the naysayers. This is why Mr. Wood is still so highly regarded today. He wasn't just making garbage. He was honestly trying to make art. It just so happens that his art sort of looks like garbage.
If you're a big fan of 50s sci-fi, you'd probably like Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's sort of that quintessential 50s campy cult classic film. So, yeah, check it out. Reference this film, guys.
That's the best thing for us, too. Gone. Yeah, let's go.